Hi guys, we're really excited to be offering some free spiritual guidance training, and this is actually going to be an ongoing thing. We're going to have every week we're going to have quite a few videos where we cover a lot of different topics, but we're also going to have you guys send us any messages that you want covered, like if you've got any questions about spirituality, about intuition, about energy healing. We want you guys to send us any messages and we'll actually cover those topics via this video training. And so the main idea about this spiritual guidance training is to help you sort of tap into your own inner wisdom so that you can actually get all your answers from within. And we're also going to be teaching you how to, be connected to your intuitive mind at all times, because a lot of people tend to be coming from their lower mind instead of, tapping into their higher mind where their intuition resides. And so I'm going to teach you ways to how to actually be tapped into that higher mind at all times so that you can actually get all your answers from within. And so we're going to be talking today about trust, and I think trust is a very important topic to begin with when you're trying to navigate your way with your intuition. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today, but first of all we just want to talk about the topics that we're going to cover throughout this training and the idea of why we've actually decided to create it.
Yeah, and if you've seen our previous videos, you'll see that spirituality has been a big part of our life since we were 12 years old. So after this training, for those that are interested in learning it, you'll be able to do stuff as, how to read an aura, how to tap into your higher mind, into intuition, and how to use those mainly in your day-to-day basis, on a day-to-day basis. And what I wanted to bring to this is I want to try and eliminate some of the airy-fairy components of this. I want to hit the hard facts of intuition and talk about how you can use it, and also delve into the side of like martial arts and so forth, that they use it to quiet their mind and tap into their intuition for to fight in combat and in competition. We won't be discussing fighting itself, but we'll be talking about how you can use intuition for many different things, all the way from protecting yourself from particular dangers, manifesting, to everything to being in a job environment where learning how to trust your ego versus your higher mind and making the correct decisions as you go through life. So we really wanted to put this out for free for a very long time now, because we're in a position to do so, and it's something that we're very excited to do.
And because our passion is spirituality, that's why we're even more driven to want to share it with you. And so, a lot of people ask me, how do I know if I'm in the ego? And, ego is such a powerful thing, and it can really override you being in that part of your brain, or your intuitive brain, because when you're in ego, you tend to be more competitive with other people. So if you find yourself, checking in with other people on Facebook and, trying to compete with other people in, the job role that you're in, that's, when you're in, you're in ego. And when you're in ego, you can also think that you're, better than other people, or being in ego can also be when you are searching for answers through other sources, going to see a psychic because you feel lost in your direction in life. That can mean that you're actually not tapped into your intuition, because when you're tapped into your intuition, your guidance flows. It's like you always show up at the right place at the right time. And when you make a decision, it's like you make the decision's made. It just feels right and you do it. When you're in ego, there seems to be a lot of confusion. You feel confused. Should I do this? Should I, what happens if I do it? What if I make a mistake? What if it doesn't turn out? And your decision making is prolonged because you're not in that intuitive part of your brain. It's like when a decision is made through your intuition, it feels right and you just do it. When you're in the ego, there's lots of confusion, there's competitiveness, there's how much money will I make, will I be able to climb up that corporate ladder? That's when you're in the ego. And so when you're in the ego part of the brain, you really sort of get off track in life, because you end up, in job roles where you don't really want to be. You're just trying to climb that corporate ladder, you're trying to make the money, you're trying to be the best, and you tend to end up being quite unhappy in the end. And so we wanted to talk today about trust as well, because how do you trust your intuition? How do you trust and know that you're on the right path? Well, this is like trusting your intuition, to me, is like an art. It takes time, patience and practice. And so it's taken Glenn and I, you know, a lot of years to be able to master it, and we still have times where we go in and out from ego and into our intuitive mind, because that's just how life is, and we have to always bring ourselves back out of it. And so, like I just discussed before, you know, when we find ourselves in that space of, you know, being competitive, or it's about money, or, you know, climbing that corporate ladder, that we instantly know, hey, we're in the wrong place right now. And then we bring ourselves back in, and I bring myself back in, you know, via meditation and energy healing. For me, energy healing is something that really works.
Yeah, trusting is a big one, and for a lot of people. And it's certainly for a lot of people that are trying to get answers for particular things in life and so forth. But one of the things I wanted to touch on about trusting is that how a lot of people need someone to confirm their own belief. To give you an example, I was watching a psychic on TV the other day, and the client was acknowledging what the psychic was saying, but they already knew the answer. So the fact that they knew the answer, they just needed someone to clarify that for them. So like, I understand why people go to them. This is not about us putting down psychics or anything like that, but it's more about the point of, if that person had have trusted what they were already getting, they wouldn't have needed to reach out and have that confirmation. And once you learn to tap into what is your intuition and what is not, it's amazing the things you can achieve. Like we've mentioned previously, Natalie and I have been able to use our intuition to navigate ourselves through lots of different situations. And I mean, for myself personally, Natalie touched on the ego in when it comes to money and all that type of stuff. And to give an example, a few years back now, I got to the point where I was becoming, I'd lost a bit of my intuition path, and I'd gone completely onto the ego path, and I was completely obsessed over making money. And I got to the point that I was making more money than I could ever have imagined, and all of a sudden things started crashing down around me, and I couldn't figure it out. And it's the universe will always bring to your attention what you need to see and what you need to know if you're open and you're looking for it. And I learned a very valuable thing, and that was that, you know, I was following the wrong path, and the things were crashing down because I'd gone off my intuition and wasn't following that, so I wasn't going to plan. And then after that happened, just come out the other side of that and realise that my priorities had changed, and I need to focus more on family and grounding and getting back to my intuitive mind. That's where things flowed a lot quicker. The finances picked up again, and we were able to continue on that path. But it's very quickly you can find yourself getting caught and going down the ego path, and before you know it, you're 20 miles down that road, and you need to do a U-turn and come back and think, hang on a second, and focus on the correct path.
And so that's an amazing example that Glenn's just shared. And you know, what quite often happens with the universe is that we always end up where we need to be, but sometimes we get taken off track. And so, you know, we have to be nudged back into where we need to be. And that happens via blocks. You know, the universe will block a certain thing in your life so that they can get you back on track. You know, you might get laid off from a job, or a relationship might come to an end, or you know, you might have a traumatic event that sort of stops you in your tracks. We get stopped in our tracks for a reason. You know, blocks get put there so that, like I said, we end up back on track. So we always end up where we need to be, but if we're following our intuition, we get there a lot quicker and with a lot less drama as well. And so, you know, back to the trust thing, I want to be able to share more with some videos down the track of actually, you know, how you can learn to trust that intuition, because we all work differently. We all get our messages differently. Our body communicates with us on a different level. And so we want to share with you and teach you how to learn to work with your body, you know, because I think it's so important, because we all have this inner radar. We all have an intuition. We were all born with an intuition, and a lot of people are aware of it, and they work with it, but there are some people who just don't know how to navigate it yet. And so we're happy to have the people that already know how to use their intuition. We'd love to see you guys on the page. And for the people that are beginners and they want to learn it, you know, this is going to be a really amazing video series for you. So if you guys have some topics that you want us to cover, send us a message, and we will you know, we'll create some videos for you, and we'll teach you how it's worked for us. And I'll also share with you what I do for my clients, you know. And I've helped a lot of people learn to communicate with their own intuition. So I hope this video helps you in some way. And like I said, if you want something covered, please message us, and we'll be more than happy to make a video for you. So thanks for watching.
Thanks.